My darling. A bit strong, perhaps, to begin with. My dear Miss Verdun. No, too formal and not a bit what I really feel. My dear... Hey, next, why not? My dear Kitty. That's grand. Now, like a house on fire, my dear Kitty.
Beg your pardon, sir, but would you mind?
Yes, very much. Now go away, I'm busy.
Yes, sir, but...
I'm busy with the most important affair, now get out!
Yes, sir.
Just when I was making such a good start, too. My dear Kitty, What are you doing, Brassett? Confound it all, what do you want?
I merely wish to say, sir, that I laid out a few of your things, which...
Yes, thank you. Now go away and please leave me alone.
Which I thought that you would care
Take them, keep them, take every blessed rag I've got, only go!
Yes, sir.
My dear Kitty.
Beg your pardon, sir.
Confound it, I wasn't talking to you! Go away! My dear Kitty.
Oh, I say.
If you don't clear out, Oh, it's you, Charlie. Oh, what is it, old chap?
Oh, nothing. If you're busy, I can come by.
No, it's all right. Don't go. It's only that fool Brassett.
What's he doing?
Oh, bagging all my clothes because I'm going down and worrying me like an old Harry while I'm trying to write a most important letter. Don't mind me. I'm nervous and naggy and nonplussed.
And so am I, Jack.
What?
I'm trying to write a letter too.
A letter to whom?
To Miss Pettigrew.
Well, how far have you got?
Oh, it began awfully well, but you see, I didn't want to be too formal, and I didn't like to be too...
Too familiar? Well?
Yes, so I just started with, my dear Amy, and then the words failed me. So I've come to you for advice. You always know just what to do and say.
Oh, do I?
Yes, you know my idiotic complaint. I'm shy, you're not.
Aren't I?
So please, prescribe for me, old chap. What am I to say?
What a good idea. I'll prescribe him the medicine and take it myself. Now then, you're in love with Amy Pettigrew, and you want to know if there's any hope for you at all, and if so...
You see, they're all off to Scotland tomorrow.
Yes, I know, and you want to see her at once, but when and where? Do I diagnose the case accurately?
To a T, old chap.
Very well then, you'll want to say something to this effect. My dear Kitty,
No, not Kitty. Amy.
Oh, right, of course! What was I thinking? My dearest Amy, forgive me thus for addressing you, but I love you so deeply, underline.
Rather strong, Jack.
Shut up. So earnestly, also underline.
Oh, I say.
That I must write and tell you so. All I ask is that you give me your...
See, there's just one problem to putting it quite as straight as all that.
Oh, and what's that?
Well, I've an aunt.
My dear Charlie, most of us do. What about her?
Well, I feel I have to tell her first.
Oh, if you're gonna drag an aunt into the business, we might as well wait until they all come back from Scotland. Because you know what Auntie's like when she steps in.
Well, no, Jack. You see, that's just the thing. I don't know her. I've never even seen her.
Ah, well, then we won't be too hard on that particular aunt, given she hasn't meddled into your affairs. Up till now.
Except to find out that I was an orphan and had me sent off to Kansas and then to Barton, and now she writes to me and says that she'll meet me by 1 o'clock on a train for lunch.
What? And you've never met her?
No, she went off to Brazil before I was born and became a sort of secretary to an old Brazilian chap down there. Don Pedro de Alvadores, I think his name was. And now, by the merest happenstance in the world, I've seen this.
Madame, or rather, Donna Lucia de Alvadores, the Brazilian millionaire who inherited Lord Toppleby's magnificent mansion in Belgravia, is an English woman of genial disposition and a financial genius. Indeed, it was in her capacity that led to the admiration of a late husband and led to a romantic deathbed marriage. Well, I don't see much in that.
No. Go on, Jack. Read the next.
Her only relation is a nephew at Barton. Gosh, lucky nephew.
That is me, sir.
By George, Charlie, so it is! This is a startler, and you say she'll be here any minute?
Yes, but I'm frightfully worried. I've never met her.
Yes, I expect she'll arrive by the next train, just in time for lunch.
Hopefully.
But what about your letter to Amy?
Oh, yes, I do need to write that letter. It's fearfully complicated. Could you perhaps give me the words to...
Charlie! I've a clinking good idea.
What is it, Jack?
Well, first of all, it's not for you, but it's for me, but for us both.
Oh.
You're gone on Amy, and I'm in love with Kitty.
Really?
Madly. Worse than anything I ever took up, even rowing. I was writing a letter to tell her, so when you walked in, there's the letter.
I'm so happy for you. So, what should I say?
Hang letter writing. We'll throw a luncheon party for your aunt and have tea afterwards in the garden. Now, you're probably wondering about old Spettigue. Well, blow old Spettigue.
Well, yes. Oh, but I forgot. He's in town at work. He won't even be around.
Well, that's perfect! Brass it! Now, come on. We've got to ask the girls.
Ask the girls.
To meet your aunt. Now, go on. Sit down.
What?
My dear Miss Spettigue, write this down. Brassett! Brassett, where are you? Brassett! Brassett, what? Ah, Brassett! Get someone to take a note to Mr. Spettigue.
Yes, sir.
My dear Miss Spettigue.
Yes, I've got that.
Will you and Miss Verdun do me the honor
Do me the honor.
of lunching with me and Mr. Chesney?
Mr. Chesney.
I'll address the envelope.
I'll address the...
No, not that, you muff! At his rooms at St. Barton's College at 1 o'clock to meet my aunt. What did you say her name was?
Donna Lucia de Alvadores.
My Aunt Donna. Capital. A reply by messenger would greatly oblige.
Splendid, Jack.
That should do it.
Here you are.
Ah, yes. It is a glorious opportunity. They'll soon be off to Scotland. But first, we shall have them all to ourselves.
Indeed.
The messenger, sir.
Ah! Give him that and tell him to look sharp.
Yes, sir.
This sort of thing isn't to be settled by correspondence.
No, we shall have them all to ourselves.
Yes, and we couldn't have asked them if it wasn't for your dear old aunt. I'm beginning to love the old girl already. Brassett!
Yes, sir.
Lunch for 5 at 1.
For 5, sir?
Yes, for 5.
5, sir.
What's so funny?
I'm afraid, sir, our credit at the kitchen is somewhat exhausted.
Oh, is it really? How are you off for a tick, Charlie?
Oh, I'm afraid my guardians.
Never mind. Brassett, get it from outside. Go to Butner's.
I'm afraid, sir, we owe at Butner's.
Oh, do we? I hope you don't mind, old chap. I'll be good for it when my next check comes. Here you are, Brassett. Do what you can with that.
This is no good, sir. I can't get anything on this. However, I have no doubt it'll be all right when I go to Bunter's if I say it's for me.
Ah, very well then. Lunch for 5 at 1.
Very short notice, sir.
I go where you like, do what you like, only lunch for 5 at 1. That's all right with you, isn't it, Charlie?
I say, Jack, that's my watch.
Oh, I beg your pardon, old chap.
Quite all right.
My mistake.
What wine, sir?
Ah, champagne.
Very little left, sir.
Well, half a dozen bottles.
I think not, sir. Only 4, sir.
Oh, that's quite enough.
What, there are 6? 6, I'll swear.
I beg your pardon, sir. Only 4 of champagne. And I think, yes. And a claret.
Oh, hang that claret. It's been open a month. All right. He sneaked those other 2 bottles. He's a bit of a corker.
Yes, my fellow is just the same.
Now, while you and your aunt are visiting the chapel and the cloisters, Kitty and I can have our little talk.
Well, yes, that's all very well, but what about Amy and I, our little talk?
Oh, yes, the aunt will be dreadfully in the way.
True.
Worse than that, she'll be an awful bore.
Oh, and a brute of a nuisance.
Yes.
Yes. So what shall we do?
Well, Napoleon went over the Alps on horseback, and I've been under them by train. So there must be a way out of this.
Perhaps we can find someone to entertain her?
Yes, someone we can rely upon.
But whom?
What about Brassett? He's a pompous sort of chap and as artful as a corkscrew. Can't we make him into a Don or something just for the day?
Yes, possibly, but Jack, I don't...
Ah, yes, we'd want him to wait at table.
Yes, of course.
There's always Freddie Peel.
Oh, Freddie Peel, he's such a cynical chap, though.
Yes, and he's sure to neglect your aunt.
And attempt to make love to our girls, no doubt. I've got it. Babs. Fanny Babs. We can ask him.
Oh, of course! Why didn't we think of him before? He's a jolly, cheerful little chap. Will amuse your aunt like the deuce and keep her in a rattling good humor.
Splendid.
Ha! Brassett!
Yes, sir.
Go to Lord Fancourt Beverley's room. Give him my compliments and ask him to come here at once.
Yes, sir.
And tell him it's very urgent.
Yes, sir.
And very immediate!
Yes, sir.
And while Babs is doing gooseberry with your aunt, we can have our chat with the girls.
Well, speaking of Babs, though, haven't you noticed? He's been a little out of sorts lately.
Yes, I've noticed he's been jolly hard up.
Ever since he struck ill and went off to the Mediterranean. I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if he's in the same predicament as we are.
What? Babs in love? Oh.
Yes, I think so. Perhaps it will be to our advantage.
Yes, maybe he's as soft-hearted as we are. Well, all the better. He'll sympathize with us. He'll see the necessity of keeping your aunt well out the way.
Indeed. Oh, Jack, you're such a genius. You'll be a governor one day.
His lordship's compliments, sir. But he cannot come. He is at a luncheon party, and he wishes for you to lend him some champagne.
Lend him some champagne? Well, of all the cheek.
Who's he got coming?
Oh, Freddie Peel and a bunch of idiots like himself, I bet. And no doubt they'll be howling comic songs all the afternoon.
Yes, it'll be an awful nuisance. Terribly noisy.
Brasset! Lay for 6.
Yes, sir.
So, should we...
Yes, come on. We're going to his rooms. He can't be allowed to disrupt our swell time in this selfish manner. Brasset! Put that champagne on ice and tidy up the room. Come on, Charley, come on.
1 o'clock. Dear, oh dear. Order first. That is always the way. Hurry, scurry. No time for anything. They come in with a bang. They go out with a bang. They do everything with a bang. Except pay their bills with a bang.
Jack? Jack? Jack, where the dickens are you? I wanted to borrow some fizz. I wonder where they keep it. By George, the very thing. Serves them right. Shouldn't leave it laying about. Especially when I'm so hard up. Ooh, won't they be jolly waxy? That's about a bottle apiece.
I can't believe he wasn't in his room. Do you believe this? Oh, I will squish that. Hello, Babs! We were just over to your rooms to find you.
Really?
Yes, we were just talking about you.
Were you indeed?
Mm-hmm.
Well, ta-ta.
No, don't go, Babs. You wanted to see us, didn't you?
Yes, I wanted to borrow some fizz, but
Sorry, I can't. I could have spared you a few bottles, but you know that for Brasset.
Yes, I know my fellow's just the same. There's just no reasoning with them, is there? Well, ta-ta, I'm off.
You know, Babs, I looked you up last night, but you are out.
Oh, yes, you know Freddie Peel, don't you? He's doesn't have a particle of brains, he's a bloody idiot. But I'm doing all right. He held a card party last night, and I won $20 from him.
Oh,
You should have seen the look on his face.
why, Freddie Peel hasn't a penny to his name.
No, really.
Did he pay you?
No, but he will when his grandmother dies.
Why, his grandmother's been dead for years.
No, really. That's beastly. You know, that puts me in a stump. He's had an awful lot out of me. But he is a bloody idiot, isn't he?
Mm-hmm.
But I think I'll be all right.
Mm-hmm.
That's all for now.
I say, Babs, you must stay for lunch.
Oh, no, Dad, don't go playing the giddy goat. I've got to meet my tutor.
Oh, Babs, you shouldn't work like this. You're looking awfully pulled down.
Am I really?
I was just telling Jack so.
Oh, dear. Do you think I shall die?
No, not you. You shouldn't worry about all this study. You'll be a great man of one sort or another, one of these days.
Well, I certainly hope so. I must do something. We've had an awful lot of Johnnies in our family. In the Army, and the Navy, and things.
I bet they never killed themselves over study.
No, but I must do something.
Of course! You must stay for lunch. Charlie's aunt is going to pay him a visit.
No, really. What fun. I know Charlie's uncle visits when he's hard up, so it makes sense that his aunt should return the visit.
That's just the sort of thing we are looking for. A jolly smart chap like yourself are full of fun of humor, and bags of brilliant conversation. Yes, to amuse and charm a lovely lady.
No, really. What's she like?
Well, you see, Babs, we don't quite know. I haven't met her yet.
Well, who is she?
My aunt.
Huh. I say, Charlie, she might turn out to be an awful old crock.
What? She's a widow! And a millionaire. That's enough, isn't it?
Rather.
We didn't care to ask Freddie Peel, did we, Charlie? No.
No, he's a bloody idiot. What did you say her name was?
Donna Lucia de Alvadores.
Oh. Why, that's a wonderful name.
I say, Babs, this won't do. You must stay to lunch. You'll find Charlie's aunt a charming old lady.
Charming old lady? Like, say, haven't you got anything younger coming?
Yes. 2 other girls.
Nice? Young?
Yes.
Okay, that's more my line. Now, how many did you say there was?
2?
Ah, I see. 1 for each of you, and the old crock for me. No, thanks. I'm off.
Back! I say, Babs, this is an awfully serious affair.
I should think so, with an old crock like that.
And we wanted to ask a friend we can trust, eh?
Rather.
Look, we'll take you into our confidence. No humbug, straight as a die. We're in love.
No, really. Charlie as well. You silly ass.
No fool of a flirtation business, but the real, downright serious thing.
I say, have you proposed?
No, well, that's just it.
Oh, I see. You want me to propose for you?
No, we'll do that ourselves. That's why we've asked them to come.
Huh.
You see, Babs, you're a friend. We need your help.
Yes, well, I don't think he understands a bit what we're going through.
No, I don't think he does at all.
Oh, no, really. Have you gents noticed how sad I've been lately?
Why, yes.
Yes, we have. What is it?
Well, I don't know, but I think I might be in love too.
What makes you say that?
I'm always wanting to be alone, always want to hear the birds sing. I'm awfully fond of poetry. I can't sleep. I even took to drink a few weeks ago, but it made me ill, so I left it off.
Sounds like all the symptoms. Why don't you tell us all about it?
You remember when I was plowed?
Oh, beastly shame.
No, not this one, the term before.
Oh.
I fell awful ill, so I took a yacht around the Mediterranean. At Monte Carlo, I came across an old English officer named Delahaye. Quite sick and sad he was. You know, Jack, he tried to commit suicide.
Ooh. Bad luck at the tables, eh?
Yes, and he begged himself and his only child. Well, the sweetest little girl you ever saw. So to comfort him, I played cards with him.
And what became of him?
He died. Poor fellow.
And what became of her, the sweetest little girl you ever saw?
I lost sight of her. Some lady from South America, I believe, traveling home that way, she took charge of her and took her to England. I heard she brought her to the States, but it's just a rumor. You know, Jack, I tried to tell her that
That you loved her?
yes, but she was in such grief that I couldn't.
That it all oozed out of your fingertips and the points of your hair?
Something like that. But I suppose I could have been rejected and looked like a silly ass.
Well, at the very least, you could sympathize with us. Hello! Hello, here's the messenger. They're coming.
By Jove.
So they are.
You'll stay, Babs.
Oh, now listen here, gents.
No, you'll do as you are. We won't let you go now that we've got you.
But don't go playing the giddy ghost. I've got somewhere to be.
Well, where?
It's something awfully important.
Well, what is it?
I'm going to play in amateur theatricals.
Rot! He'll be plowed again, won't he, Charlie?
But I've given my word.
What are you even playing?
A lady.
Ha!
An old lady. And I haven't acted before in my life. So I thought I would try on a few things while the fellows were all occupied.
You could try them on here. Where are they?
In my room, on the bed, but...
Fetch them, Rasset! Quick as you can!
No, he doesn't have to. I was just going to get them in my little bag.
Babs, you don't sympathize with us a bit.
Oh, don't I? I only wish I could see my own little girl.
Well, perhaps she'll turn up one of these days. Drink?
No, I've given it up.
Just a small one.
I'm teetotal.
Oh, very well. Here you are, Charlie.
All right, let me have it.
I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll drink to her health. Here's to the future Miss Fancourt Beverly. What did you say her name was?
I haven't the slightest idea.
Go on with you. To Miss Delahaye.
Your things, my lord.
Thank you, Brassett. You're a good chap. I say, Jack, you got the nickel.
Charlie, do you have a nickel?
Oh no, Jack, I haven't.
Brassett! Lend me a nickel, will you? Here you are, Babs.
Thank you. Here you are, Brassett. You're a good chap.
I say, what have you got there?
Chocolates?
Chocolates?
Well, let's have a look.
No. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll try them on during lunch while you're all occupied with the girls.
No. We want you with us. You won't do if you're gone. Try them on now. Well, it won't take long. Will it?
Just only a minute or two. These theatricals have taken a lot out of me, but I mean to tell you, next term, I mean to work.
Oh yes, here it is. Here's the name. Oh, so it is, Mr. Chesney. I wonder if they're in.
They're coming.
They're here, and your aunt's not come yet.
What are we to do?
Let them in. We can explain.
Yes, of course.
Show them in, Brassett! Oh, how are you? So nice of you to come.
We were very pleased to be able to come, weren't we, Amy? Oh yes. Are we too early, Mr. Wickham?
Oh no.
Yes, Mr. Chesney. You didn't mention any time.
Oh, of course, no, of course not. We're delighted. Oh.
So this is
She'll be here soon.
where you think you can study and do all your work and everything.
Oh, yes, we do a lot of that sort of thing around here.
You've jolly quarters here.
Oh,
I'm so glad you were able to come today. It worries me terribly that you're going to be going off to Scotland tomorrow, and it's put Jack and I in a perfect fever.
Yes, Uncle always takes us away to some dreadfully remote place at this time of year where we never see a soul, and it's so dreary.
What a shame.
I don't know why he does it, but why are you so sorry?
Sorry? Well, you see, well, Jack and I just,
Well, at any rate, it's lucky Uncle is away in town, or else I don't think we would have been able to come.
No? Well, I'm glad you were able to.
Yes, me too.
Why wouldn't he let you?
I don't know.
Miss Verdun, have you forgotten our dance the other night? I never shall.
No.
Those stolen moments out there in the garden were some of the happiest of all my life. Out there in the moonlight. Ah, the moonlight. The moonlight is the true atmosphere for sentiment.
I wonder how many people have said that.
Oh, Kitty, I know when you like you can be an awful plague, but today you are quite cynical.
I know I am. I'm thinking of that man.
What man?
My guardian, Mr. Spetague, who hurries us away from all of our closest friends before we even have the chance to get to know anyone better, for fear of...
For fear of what?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, why does he?
Because he's a selfish, wicked old man.
Are you really so sad to go away?
No, I'm angry. But don't speak of it anymore. Or, as Amy says, I shall cry.
What a dear, sweet old lady your aunt must be, Mr. Wickham. I'm longing to know her. Where is she?
Jack. Where's my aunt?
What?
Oh, well, you see, my aunt hasn't quite come yet.
Oh no! Kitty! Oh. Mr. Wickham's aunt hasn't come yet.
Then, oh dear, we'll run along and do some shopping. Oh, and of course we'll come back. We shan't be long. Goodbye.
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 Bye.
Goodbye.
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 Good. Oh. See that? Off like a shot when they found your aunt wasn't here.
Makes an awful difference, doesn't it?
Now you look here. You go down to the station and bundle the old girl here in a fly.
The old girl?
Your aunt! Meanwhile, I'll look after lunch and keep an eye on Babs.
All right. Jack, I say, don't you feel better just after seeing them for a moment?
Yes. Now be off with you!
Say, Jack, have you got any hairpins?
Hairpins? Great Scott, no.
Hey, may I send your man for some?
Well, yes, certainly.
Have you got a nickel?
No, afraid not.
Why, you haven't got anything. Brassett, I gave you a nickel a little bit ago. I was wondering if you could make it 2 nickels worth and get me a set of hairpins.
Certainly, my lord.
You can keep the change. Oh, were those the girls?
Yes, but what made you both jump out like that? They could have seen you.
I didn't know they were here.
But look out, here's someone else. There was a lot of hope in what Kitty said. Another minute or two and I... Never mind. Everything's gone on splendid. Come in!
Jack,
Dad!
my dear boy.
Dear old Dad, why are you here? Wherever did you come from?
Town came by to give you your check and have a little chat.
You're a brick, Dad.
Oh, too many years in India, I fear.
Well, a bit crisp, Dad.
Am I? How do you make that out?
Well, how old are you?
What would you say to 50?
50?
One.
Who'd believe it?
What about you, Jack? You look much older than I did at your age. I suppose it's the times. I mean, the college shows it too. New ivy, new paint.
Well, all Amada's still an old beauty, Dad.
I suppose so. What with the gentle artifices of the toilet? Oh, well, we all grow old.
Why, Dad, even you at 50.
One.
50 years ago, you would have been a stout, white-haired, or bald, top-booted, domineering old boy. And yet, here you are today, a smart, bane-up-to-date sort of chap one could talk to like a chum. So, how have you done it?
Don't know.
Do you drink?
All I want.
Eat well.
Never noticed.
Well, there you go. Consequently, health good. We're gonna be great pals, Dad.
Well, here it is. There's your check to keep going with.
Thanks, Dad. I haven't seen half enough of you.
Well, I've seen your hospitality.
Ah, well, Dad, I can.
Oh, never mind. Same when I was a lad.
Oh, I've been done over that wine monstrosity.
Were you? Well, so was I. Done over everything college monstrosity. But you always settle up. Always settle up. I'm very satisfied with you, boy. It's quite something to come down from college with a record like yours. I say, Jack, where the deuce did you get these cigars?
Ah, those, Dad?
Ah, that accounts for the billing. You know, you and I are going to have to begin to think.
Think?
Well, now that I've come into the family title, as you know, I've also, which you don't know, come into the family debt and difficulties,
Debts?
which were much greater than I expected, and as a result, all the money I saved for you in India has gone to pay them. In short, Jack, you and I, for the next few years, are going to be, comparatively speaking, poor men.
Poor men?
However, I do have hopes of a small appointment for you in Bengal.
Bengal? Oh, what a horrible place. What is it, Brassett?
His lordship's hairpins, sir.
Confound his hairpins! Great Scott, I've got to get rid of Babs somehow if Dad stays. Stays? Why not? Dad! Couldn't this matter be settled over a wealthy marriage?
Oh, shame on you, lad. That's the sort of thing I deprecate. I don't think
But listen, my pal, Charley Wickham, that is, Charley Wickham's aunt, Donna Lucia de Alvadores, is coming here to lunch today. She's a widow.
A widow.
A widow and a millionaire.
And a millionaire.
And a charming woman.
No, Jack, I can't advise you to do such a thing. I mean, a thing like that just for the sake of money.
No. Not me, Dad. You.
Me? No, you rascal. No, shall never get married again.
Well, now, Dad, don't be rash. Where are your things?
At the hotel.
Well, go and put on something nice, a nice little fragrance, and oh, Dad, put a flower in your buttonhole.
I say.
Oh, Charlie, my father. Bob, Dad, this is Charley Wickham.
Glad to meet you, my boy. Glad to meet you.
Her nephew. Nice lad, you'll love him.
I thought he was part of the fire brigade.
Now remember, Dad, a flower in a gentleman's buttonhole takes years off that man. Remember, a flower in his buttonhole.
No, Jack, you come and have lunch with me at the Wolf instead.
Now don't be rash, Dad. See her first.
Very well. Okay, Jack, I'll take a look. Just a look, mind you.
Well, what is it?
Read that.
Don't expect me for a few days, Lucia de Alvadores. Oh, no.
She's not coming.
But, she must. Go and wire another telegraph.
There's no use. There's no time.
But, oh, hang it. The girls won't stay without a chaperone. What are we to do?
Oh, what about the proctor's wife, old Mrs.
Who'd
Mrs.
sit and stare like an owl?
Who?
Who?
Oh. There they are. They're coming. What are we to do?
I say, Jack, look at me.
What the deuce is it now? By George. Charlie! Come here quickly, will you? Do you know what a pious fraud is?
Pious fraud?
First cousin to a miracle. Look.
What is it?
Babs. It's Babs, your aunt.
Babs? My aunt?
It's the only one you've got, so you're gonna have to make do.
I say, Jack, look here.
How do I look? Splendid. Absolutely splendid.
What was that?
The girls.
The girls?
Charlie's aunt can't come.
Can't come. Oh, dear. I better take these off.
No!
No!
They won't stop if you do.
Won't stop. What do you mean?
You must be Charlie's aunt.
Me?
No. Show them in, Brasset!
Jack.
Ah! You've come back! So glad, so glad!
Yes, we took rather longer than we intended, but we wanted to get some flowers for Charlie's aunt. Has she come?
Oh, yes, I do hope she's come.
Oh, yes. Yes, she's come. Miss Donna Lucia, Miss Verdun, Miss Pettigrew, girls! Donna Lucia de Alvadores. Go on. Say something.
How do you do, my dears?
We called upon you before, Donna Lucia, but you hadn't arrived.
Yes, and we brought you these.
Oh, thank you. I say, what am I to do with these?
Why, put them in your dress.
I do hope your journey from town hasn't tired you, Donna Lucia.
Oh no, it was jolly, very jolly, pleasant, pleasant. I say, Mr. Wickham, are you ill?
No, not ill. Just anxious. I'm very.
He's just nervous for meeting his aunt for the first time today. Why the deuce don't you say something?
What the deuce am I supposed to say?
Talk about the weather.
Charming weather.
Oh, yes, delightful.
Yes, it is charming.
College chance will do anything.
I say, you're placing me in a terribly false position.
May I arrange these for you, Donna Lucia? After all, we do have nice weather sometimes in poor old Kansas.
What on earth does she mean by that?
Why, you're a foreigner.
A foreigner. What's my name again?
Donna Lucia de Alvadores.
What am I, Irish?
No, you're English. You married a Portuguese abroad.
Now you're a widow
From Brazil.
and a millionaire.
I say, Charlie, do I have any children?
No, you fool.
Well, one ought to know. That'll do for now. I'll deal with it. Yes, it is charming weather here for Kansas. Shall I take them to see the chapel or the cloisters?
No, you don't have to worry about that. Charlie and I will take care of that.
Of course, Barton is all very new to you, Donna Lucia, but it's a dear old place in any weather. Amy and I would love to show you all about.
Oh, that would be nice.
You're staying until tomorrow, are you not?
Oh, am I staying until tomorrow?
No.
Oh, but you mustn't she, Kitty?
I'm afraid she can't stay till tomorrow. She has important business to attend to in town.
Yes, it is my washing day.
Yes, important business. You know, stocks and lawyers.
Stocks and socks and it's all very important, you know.
Well, I'm so sorry. We've so longed to know you. Mr. Wickham has told us so much about you, so much so that he has made us quite love you.
And he's so grateful. He says he owes you everything and could never possibly repay you. And oh, he's such a, thank you. He's such a good, frank, upright young man. And it was so noble of you.
Yes, it was only my duty to look after the welfare of my poor brothers.
Sisters, you fool.
Sisters, you fool. Sisters, little girl.
Boy!
Boy! I'll say twins in a minute.
Oh, but it's so good that you found him. You were so far away in a foreign land, and without you, he might have been left to starve or to fall into cruel hands. But you have a good, kind, affectionate nature.
Have I indeed, my dear?
Anyone can see it in your face.
No.
I feel I can tell my whole heart to you.
Don't you let her!
I won't, the poor dear.
Oh, you don't mind my talking to you like this, do you, Donna Lucia?
My dear, you are a charming little girl of whom I'm sure I will soon grow very fond of. And you have to tell me all you like someday when you get to know me better.
Oh, I feel I've known you for years and years already.
They're jealous. That is so nice of you.
Mr. Chesney. Mr. Chesney. Beg your pardon, sir. I heard Mr. Spelligue at the gate inquiring about your rooms, sir.
Oh dear!
Mr. Spelligue?
My uncle's back!
Mr. Spelligue's back! I thought he was in London!
Mr. Chesney, I beg of you, please send him away!
Charley, what do I say? What do I do?
I don't care what you do or say, just keep him here.
Why doesn't somebody answer this door?
What do you want?
I wish to speak to Mr. Chesney.
Where did you get that hat, sir? Take it off. Don't sit down. I'm not sitting down, and I didn't ask for you to sit down.
We'll waive that for the present, madam. I wish to see Mr. Chesney at once.
Well, that will not be possible. I'm afraid I'm the only person present.
But the porter told me that two young ladies, my niece and my ward, were here.
I tell you that I am the only young lady present.
But he told me he saw them come in.
And did he tell you he saw them go out?
No!
Very well then. What more do you want?
They've gone into the garden.
They've done nothing of the kind.
Then they've gone into town.
Very well then. What more do you want? Now, having gotten all the information you are likely to get, especially in your present condition,
Madam!
disgraceful. Where have you been?
What do you mean? I am annoyed, but perfectly sober.
Well, you don't look it. Anybody can be as annoyed as well as you are.
Madam, I apologize. Good morning. Did you see something strike that hat?
I beg your pardon?
Did you see something strike that hat?
He wants me to do it again. Oh, my dears!
That was so sweet of you!
You darling.
Look at Jack. I'll bash his head in if he does it again.
Sir Francis
Chesney!
Ah! Here's my father! Be careful. It's my father.
Am I any relation to him?
No! You're Charlie's aunt from Brazil.
Brazil? Where's that?
You know, where the nuts come from. Nuts come from. Ah, Dad! Oh, Mr. Dunn, my father.
John,
Miss Pettigrew, my father.
delighted. Thank you. Now, Jack, has she come yet?
Oh, yes. Yes, she's come. Go on, Charlie. Introduce your aunt.
Donna Lucia de Alvadores, Sir Francis Chesney, Jack's father.
How do you do? I'm Charley's aunt from Brazil, where the nuts come from.
How do you do? I say, Jack,
Yes!
is that the lady?
Yes?
By George,
No, don't go, Dad, please. Go on, Donna Lucia. Charlie told you all about him.
Charley's told you all about him.
No.
No.
My nephew Charles.
My nephew Charles has told me all about you in his letters. How about that?
No, not good at all.
Well, do it yourself then.
Well, I'm much obliged to Mr. Wicker, but I only met him today for the first time.
See? But Dad, I've simply been photographing you to Charlie for years.
Oh, yes, he's a splendid photographer.
Remember, you just arrived to Kansas today, and this is the first time you've met Charlie.
How the deuce was I supposed to know that?
Jack,
Yes?
my dear boy, this is impossible.
What is that?
Well, just look at her.
Eh? Oh, goodness.
Luncheon is ready, sir.
Take my father and be careful how you speak to him. Dad, will you take Donna Lucia?
Will you sit next to me, Sir Francis?
Delighted. You've traveled a great deal, I suppose.
Oh, yes, I do indeed like to travel. I only came from Wichita only this morning.
Donna Lucia. Aunt? Aunt!
Oh, thank you.
Miss Verdun.
Oh, yes, please.
Miss Montague?
Oh, please.
Oh, what a pretty flower.
Do you like it? Would you accept it?
Yes, I will have it stuffed. Thank you.
Jack? Mayonnaise?
Open the wine, Brassett.
You have very pleasant rooms here, Mr. Chesney.
Ah, yes.
Yes, they're quite nice rooms, wouldn't you say so, Sir Francis?
Pleasanter than usual, I fancy.
It's a problem, sir. The cork. Sorry, sir.
That's when it's cold.
Thank you, sir.
Useless.
So, Donna Lucia, may I have the pleasure? Oh, Jack, where'd you get this stuff?
May I have a little water, please?
Oh, open the champagne, Brassett.
I can't find it, sir.
Can't find it? Do you know what's going on, too, Charlie?
No.
So, what's become of it? I thought it was on ice.
What? What are you looking at?
The champagne, Donna Lucia.
Well, I thought you'd forget something, so I put some in my bag. In my bag, Brassett?
Aha! So I was right after all. And that old fool of a woman told me they weren't here.
Ah, Mr. Spettigan.
Don't you address me, sir. And this is the way that you take advantage of my absence.
Mr. Spettigan.
Don't you address me, sir. I have no wish to hold any sort of converse with you.
But sir, won't you allow us to explain?
My business is with this young man, sir, not you.
But you won't listen to anyone.
Oh, go away. Don't interfere.
Where did you get that hat, sir? Take it off.
You forget yourself, sir.
Sir, perhaps you'll remember their ladies present?
I disapprove of their presence, and I request that they return with me at once.
We can discuss this matter over a more fitting occasion.
Why, certainly, a most excellent suggestion. Let's have another call.
You are a very annoying old woman, and I must beg of you not to interfere. Ladies, come.
Sir, you cannot put such an affront upon Mr. Wickham's guests.
I don't know them, and I don't know you.
Mr. Wickham, introduce me.
Mr. Spedigue, Sir Francis Chesney.
And Mr. Chesney is my son, and this lady is...
Pray, don't introduce me. I've been sufficiently insulted by the old bound gentleman already.
I consult my feelings when I say that I am extremely annoyed at finding, upon returning prematurely from town, my niece and my ward lunching without my permission with these two young gentlemen.
to meet Mr. Wickham's aunt.
Indeed.
There's no indeed about it. I repeat, to meet Mr. Wickham's aunt.
In my mind, it matters little.
For in my mind, it matters everything. Therefore, let me introduce you. Donna Lucia de Alvarez. What's his confounded name?
Donna Lucia.
Mr. Spedigue.
Donna Lucia de Alvarez, the celebrated millionaire? Oh, how do you do?
Yes, I'm Charley's aunt from Brazil, where the nuts come from.
Well, I am so very sorry. I have been rather indiscreet. I am so very, very sorry.
Go on. He's apologized. Ask him to lunch.
Well, I did find you rather rude, but if you apologize...
Oh, by all means, I am so very, very sorry.
In that case, you'll stay to lunch?
If you wish it. Am I forgiven?
Forgiven. Here's a peace offering.
That's my flower. That's my...
It's all right, Dad. It's okay. Yes, all right. Oh, allow me, Donna Lucia.
Oh, no. Allow me.
Oh.
Let go.
Well, we're sailing along now. He makes a wonderful old woman. No doubt about it. A bit singular to look at, perhaps. But then, look at some of your old ladies. Right there. No one would ever believe them. And he don't look that much worse than a few people I know in very high position. His lordship is interesting. The old gents have their eye on him. I fancy that Sir Francis is a favorite. And Mr. Spettigue, he just fancies himself. Old gents, college gents, will do almost anything.
What are you laughing at, eh?
Beg your pardon, sir. I was just thinking of an aunt of mine.
Eh?
Uncle, then.
Mind your own business and go and get tea. Do you see? Tea.
Yes, tea.
Out
Yes,
here.
Out here, sir?
Yes, don't look at me like that. It's all right. I've got special permission.
Beg pardon, sir.
Now, time for Kitty. Where is she? Everything's gone on all right at long last. Babs frightened the life out of me 2 or 3 times, the way he walked into things as if he hadn't had food for a month. But we've got over the worst of it. All the same, I have yet to have my chat with Kitty. But I've given her a hint to meet me out here where we can talk quietly. Here she is. Ah! Oh! Ah, confound it! I have a most important appointment here with Kitty, so hook it.
Well, so have I, Jack.
With Kitty?
No, with Amy.
Then we both made appointments in the same place. Confound it all! What are we to do?
Well, I mean, they're your rooms.
Yes, but you're my guest. Here, we'll toss for it. Got any money?
No, it's a safety pin. There's something in here. Lint? Yes. Aha! A whole penny.
Ah! We'll toss for it. Heads, you and Amy. Tails, me and... Here she is.
I say, Jack, that's all the money I've got.
Oh, Mr. Chesney, there you are.
Yes, I am here, in fact, waiting. I was beginning to fear you wouldn't come. Oh, why don't you go? Have you no tact?
What about me and Amy?
Ah, Mr. Wickham, there you are.
Oh, yes, I was coming. Well, I was waiting, but what? I'm here.
Beastly awkward. Oh, I say, Charley, have you shown Miss Pettigrew all around the garden?
Yes, Jack, I have. 2 or 3 times, in fact. We've just come from there. I wish you'd leave us.
Lovely garden, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is.
Suppose? Oh, you haven't half seen it. Charley, Miss Pettigrew hasn't half seen the garden.
But Jack.
Charley, why not tell Miss Pettigrew those lovely lines of yours? To our garden in summer.
No, don't tell her I write poetry. She'll think I'm an awful ass.
And remember, Miss Pettigrew, tea here in half an hour.
Very well, Mr. Chesney.
But Jack, the others are in the garden, and it worries the life out of me to see Babs.
Well, don't. It's a large garden. Keep out of his way. Alas, Miss Verdun, my dear Kitty, we are alone.
But don't you think it was rather selfish of us, Mr. Chesney, to send them away like that?
No, we tossed for it.
What?
I mean, they'll be much happier together, alone. And it seems as if I could never get 5 minutes with you without some miserable interruption. Indeed, I was beginning to fear you'd think me very rude. neglecting you as I have done.
Oh, no, not at all. I couldn't expect you to devote yourself entirely to me. Indeed, we've had a very pleasant time. And now,
Yes, then now?
I was thinking we ought to be going now.
Go? Now? Good gracious, no!
Oh, and why not?
Before I've had a word with you? Oh, Miss Verdun, Kitty, Won't you sit down? I've something of importance to tell you.
Indeed, Mr. Chesney?
Yes. You see, Miss Verdun, there comes a time in every man's life when he got to think lots and think long.
I suppose so.
And there comes a time when a fellow mustn't stop to think, for if he does, he'll spoil his chance.
Yes?
Well, Miss Verdun, Kitty, my dear Kitty, I so do enjoy the company.
Excuse me. Don't mind me. I just need a word with my boy here.
Oh, of course. Then I'll go out into the garden and see the roses and primroses and cabbages and things.
Well, Dad, anything important?
Yes, it is.
Oh, and what is it?
You know I'd do anything to see you get on in the world and make your mark, which I'm sure you will if you just had your chance.
You needn't tell me all this, Dad.
Well, having thought it over, I've decided you shall continue on the career I've mapped out for you. And seeing a way out of it, the difficulty, I have decided that I shall take your advice and marry a lady of wealth.
I see. You've taken some fascinations of some young and lovely.
No, she is not lovely, my boy. I'm afraid she's not overly young, but she is wealthy, and that is the real object in this instance.
All right, Dad, as long as you're satisfied, go in and win.
And you, my boy, I have to thank for the tip.
Tip? What Tip? Who is she? What's her name?
Oh, you'll be delighted when I tell you.
I will?
Can't you guess?
No, Dad, I can't.
Lucia de Alvadores.
What? What the deuce, Dad? This is impossible.
Impossible? You're the one that suggested it, and it's for your sake I'm doing it.
But, Dad, you can't.
Can't? Why not? Is there something against the lady's reputation?
No! But you mustn't. You can't.
Mustn't? Can't? What a boy you are. You're the one that told me to go change and put a flower in my foot. Oh, and by George, that flower's done the trick.
But she gave it away, Dad.
Oh, my dear boy, she explained all that.
This is horrible. But Dad, circumstances have altered since then.
In what way?
You know, you're too good.
Oh.
You're not the kind of man to be thrown away like this.
Say no more, Jack. Your consideration for me settles it. This will put you years forward. And had she been young and lovely, she would have never looked at me. But as it is, I'd rather compliment myself that she is taking quite a fancy to me. And as far as those Spetague's concerned, in spite of his marked intentions, I don't think he stands a ghost of a chance against me.
Oh, Spetague? Attentions? Great heavens, what are we doing? Dad!
Wish me luck, my boy, wish me luck.
But take time, Dad. Think it over.
Take time, that's not the way an old soldier makes love. I'm going in and have me a rattling good spanking brandy and soda. Bring myself up to the mark.
But, oh, good gracious. What's the young monkey doing?
Jack! I wish you'd speak to Babs. He's carrying on disgracefully. He has taken Amy around the garden with him.
Well, that's nothing compared to what's going on in here. You hear that?
Yes, what is it?
My dad getting himself a rattling good spanking brandy and soda.
Brandy and soda? What for?
To propose to Babs, that's all.
Propose to Babs? Will she be found out and disgraced? What are we going to do?
Well, don't blame me. It was the fault of your muddle-headed aunt not knowing her own mind and leaving us in the lurch. Ooh, I could strangle her.
So what shall we do, Jack?
We must find Babs and put him up to the governor's game.
I suppose that would work.
Come on, we've got to go around the gardens and we'll go around the gardens different ways and cut them off.
But Jack, I don't think...
Hey, oh, shut up! We must keep our heads now or we'll lose everything. Come on.
Now I'm ready for anybody or anything. Why doesn't she come? I didn't mention this to the boy, particularly after he objected, but she promised to meet me here in 10 minutes, and time is up. Time's up.
Ah, my dear daughter Lucia.
Oh, that fool Spetague with my flower in his coat. Are you looking for anyone?
No.
What's he hanging around here for? Are you in want of something?
No, I was simply thinking it was a lovely afternoon. Perhaps you haven't seen the garden. It's looking quite beautiful. You ought to give it a good look before you go.
I will. Before I go. What's he stopping here for? Cigarette?
No, thank you. I never smoke in the daytime. Why does he stay? She told me she'd meet me here in 10 minutes, and time's up. Time's up!
What's he stopping for? I've got to tell him to go. As you're not smoking...
Oh, don't mind me, don't mind me.
I was thinking it might be just as well if you were to go join the ladies in the garden. I mean, they might think it rude us both being away.
Perhaps so. Perhaps so. She's in the garden.
Well, it doesn't appear that she's coming. Maybe I'll just go have another tipple.
Oh, I say, Dad, you haven't seen Donna Lucia, have you?
No, I haven't.
That's fortunate.
But I'm waiting for her here.
Waiting for her here?
Yes, Jack, I have an appointment with her. I didn't mention it before, but she's due. In fact, she's past due, so if you would just get out, my boy, just get out.
They can't meet until I've seen him. Oh, I say, Dad, I only saw her a moment ago.
Oh, where?
In the garden.
In the garden. Hang it, that's exactly where I sent Spetague.
I know Babs isn't there, but where on earth has he got to? Well, have you found him?
No. Haven't you?
No, and I've looked all over the place for him.
What are we to do?
Ooh, I'll kill the little monkey when I get a hold of him.
There he is.
Ah, Mr. Wickham, there you are. Did you think you'd lost us?
Yes, I'm afraid I did.
Where were you with that girl, you fool? Nowhere. Stay where you are. I've got something important to tell you.
I'll have you.
Charley! Has Miss Spetague seen the chapel? Take her away while I talk to Babs. Yes! You must see the chapel. It's an awfully pretty chapel. The stained glass, rainbow colors, and the guy on the
Bash his head.
What do you mean by this game?
What game?
You promised to help us.
And I'm doing my best.
Doing your best. You were supposed to look after those two old chaps, and here you are. Look, I have no wish to argue.
Oh, no, I wouldn't argue if I were you.
Listen, I want to put you on your guard.
On my guard. Oh, thank you very much.
My dad's going to propose to you.
Propose?
Yes, propose.
Well, that's all right then. But I'm not going to marry him for you or anybody else. I'll see you hanged first.
Of course not, you idiot! All you've got to do is keep calm and refuse him.
Keep calm and refuse him. But a proposal puts anyone in a flutter, you know that.
All you've got to do is remember you're a real old lady.
How am I to remember I'm a real old lady with my trousers on?
Never mind your trousers. Look out, here's my dad. I'm off.
But what am I to say? I've never been proposed to before.
Oh, say he's taking you by surprise. But whatever you do, be sure to refuse him.
Oh yes, I'll refuse him.
It's really too bad. I mean, it was her proposition, a definite proposition that she made herself. I mean, ladies are proverbial and punctual, but...
Oh!
Oh, my dear Donna Lucia, here you are. I was beginning to be afraid you weren't coming, and I popped out to the garden to find you. Won't you have a seat? By Jove, I've got her now. Now for the plunge. I'll start with a compliment. I wonder what her real age is. However, ladies, never too old for a compliment. Here it goes. Donna Lucia, I'm sure you'll forgive a rude metaphor of an old campaigner, but to meet you today for the first time as I've done is to me like a lonely traveler that comes across a bright little floweret by the wayside.
Do you mean me?
Yes, Donna Lucia, I mean you. By George, off to a good start.
What do I say to that, I wonder? Oh, that's so very nice and very kind of you.
Well, now let me get right to the point. Do you know what a man longs for when he's lonely and desolate and wretched?
A drink.
Oh, by George, it's good. She's not going to help a bit. No, Donna Lucia, that I'll tell you what he longs for. He longs to put in his own heart forever that little floweret.
Yes, by the wayside. Does he really?
Yes, indeed he does. And I've come all the way from India to find that little floweret.
You must be tired. Take a seat.
Oh, thank you. It was a long ways.
Oh, yes, I'm sure it was a long walk.
But now I've found it.
Then why don't you wear it in your buttonhole?
Ah, would you let me, or would you give it away to another as you've done before?
Ah, yes, I was a naughty girl this morning.
Oh, dear Lucia. The floweret I'm talking about will sit at the head of my table and walk by my side and dwell in my heart forever. Oh. But I'll waste no more words.
He's going to do a conjuring trick.
I'll come directly to the point with the bluntness of an old soldier. Donna Lucia, will you be my wife? Will you be my little floweret?
No. You caught me quite by surprise.
Well, may I have hope?
No. No. Don't hope. No, I wouldn't hope if I were you. No.
Pardon me, Donna Lucia, but or do I understand that you're...
I must refuse you. The fact of the matter is, I'm another's.
Another's?
Now, don't be downhearted. I'll tell you what I'll do.
Yes?
I will be a sister to you.
A sister. Only a sister?
Only a sister, nothing more.
And nothing I can say will alter your decision?
I'm afraid not. You see, I'm in a more peculiar position than I could ever explain. I'm a woman with a history.
Well, will you accept my regrets and apologies for ever having broached the subject?
Oh, yes. Anytime you're passing.
Refused. Oh, what a relief. I am sorry for the boy's sake.
Well, this is a nice position.
You fool! Why did you make a fool out of my dad like that for?
I didn't make a fool of a fool, you fool. Did you hear what he said to me?
Yes, a flower.
Yes, by the wayside. That's a nice thing to say.
Why didn't you cut him short and refuse him at once?
I couldn't refuse him until he proposed. No woman could. I'd find myself in divorce court before I knew where I was.
Look out, here's old Spedigue.
I'm off.
Mr. Chesney, have you seen
Oh! What the deuce did he pull like that for? Anyhow, they won't wreck my future happiness. I must find Kitty. Why couldn't Charley's aunt behave like a lady and show up like she was supposed to instead of giving us all this trouble? Ooh, I hate the sight of her before I've even seen her.
First door to the left. Thank you very much. First door to the left, the man said, Ella.
Ah, yes, here it is. Mr. John Chesney.
Chesney? The name sounds familiar. Why my nephew couldn't remain in his rooms instead of compelling me to follow him about like this.
You telegraphed to say you couldn't come.
I know, my dear.
And then you changed your mind.
Yes, for about the first time in my life.
Why?
It was a vague desire to see him without his knowing.
The porter said they might all be in the garden. I could roam about these old places all day. Isn't it all beautiful?
Oh, dream away, Ella. I should wait for someone to come.
Oh, to live among these leafy shades, ancient spires and sculptured nooks. Like silent music, a scholar's fairyland.
But to one poor sublunary being, not quite so young as she used to be, it's a little fatiguing.
And how lovely it must be by moonlight, where the shadows have no sudden fears, but are only folds in the mantle of sleep. And all is peace. And the silver bells chime to the centennial angel of the night, who smiles from heaven and whispers back, "All's well, sweet bells, all's well."
Oh, you fanciful little woman. But what has brought all this about angels and so forth into your head today?
Oh, I don't know.
I think I can trace back all the byways and slyways of thought that generally lead in one direction.
Oh no, it's all so sweet here.
Oh, and so it was there, by moonlight, as seen from the bridge of a certain yacht. The rippling sea and the blue night and brilliant stars. You see how I remember your words. And a certain someone who told you as you listened to the chime of the ship's bell that you looked like the angel of the watch. He was a flattering-tongued person, that someone, wasn't he? Now, what was his name again?
I've told you so often.
Yes, Lord Fancourt Babberley. Oh, but I don't want your mind fixed on these things, my dear. In fact, I'd almost forgotten to tell you that I have invested your poor father's money for you, and thanks to his forethought for his little girl, he has rendered you independent for life. And what's worse is independent from me.
Independent.
Oh, but you won't be, Ella.
No.
For I've grown to love the little orphan that I met in such grief in a strange land. So much so that I'm not independent of her. Oh, but let's make a bargain. Let's put aside that dreadful evidence of my dependence and let it grow. And just be my little girl and call me Auntie, will you?
Yes, Auntie, yes.
How did your father come to have such a large sum of money by him like that? Well, I thought he'd lost it all.
Papa wanted at cards
Wanted at cards? When?
during his illness.
From whom?
From Lord Fancourt Beverley.
Is Lord Baverley a gambler too?
No, not really. But Auntie, should we ever meet, may I give it back?
You know, I don't think he'd take it.
Why not?
Well, it just seems to me that he's taken too much trouble to lose it. But besides, I'm not going to speak for him, and, well, I don't want you to ever leave me, Ella. Oh, my dear, you have just set me to thinking now.
Have I? What about?
Oh, about a someone. A someone.
Oh, Auntie, do tell.
It was before I went abroad to Brazil. I was very young. He was very shy. He never called me the angel of the watch. But he did get as far as a stammering compliment and a blush. And then...
And then?
Well, and then he was ordered off with his regiment.
Without ever?
Yes, without ever.
Oh, Auntie.
It was at a dance the evening before he went away. And I've never loved anyone since. I was such a sentimental young lady in those days.
What was his name, Auntie?
It was Frank. Frank Chesney. Oh, I am afraid we're intruding.
Oh, not at all. The grounds are open to everyone here at the college. I'm just more or less at home here because these are my son's rooms.
Oh, Mr.
Chesney.
Really? Oh, pardon my asking, but are you, or, well, rather, were you Lieutenant Frank Chesney?
I was.
Then you don't remember me.
I must admit with some regret I have no recollection.
Well, it must be more than 20 years since.
20 years?
He doesn't remember me.
20 years is a long time, Auntie.
20 years, I wonder where the regiment was then.
Miss Anne Smythe, Miss Beverly, everyone's called, but my own, of course. Well, then you have forgotten the day that you first embarked for India.
No.
But have you forgotten the evening before?
Not at all, Lucy.
Oh,
Good gracious. Oh, and to think that very dance, you never knew this, but that night, by George, I almost made you an avowal.
An avowal?
20 years.
Oh, I'm afraid so.
But I remember the dance perfectly. You were all dressed up in white, tied up in blue.
Yes, tied with blue, like a chocolate box.
Oh, you must meet my son. He's a splendid fellow. These are his rooms, or at least he'd lent them out to a college friend of his, a young fellow named Wickham.
Oh, yes, Wickham.
In fact, they're about entertaining some ladies, well, 2 young ladies and his aunt.
His aunt?
A lady from Brazil.
Brazil?
Donna Lucia de Alvadores. Do you know her?
Well, I've heard of her.
Auntie, whatever does he mean?
Do I understand you to say that Donna Lucia de Alvadores is here, actually here?
Well, in the garden. At least she was 5 minutes ago.
I
Introduce you.
Do I stay and see this out, or?
May I?
Yes, my card.
Mrs. Beverly Smythe?
Auntie,
I shall go in and find Donna Lucia and the boys. Unless you wouldn't mind going out and meeting them there.
Oh, with pleasure. I'm quite curious to see them. Oh, my niece, Miss Delahaye.
How do you do?
Is it Colonel?
Sir Francis Chesney.
Oh, come along, Ella.
Oh, Jack, if that had been Donna Lucia, things might have been much different.
What's his lordship and the old gent up to now? Looks like they're playing some kind of game. I think it's very dangerous running around like that. I'm not sure I didn't see his lordship's trousers.
Alas, Miss Badun, my dear Kitty, we are alone. Ah.
Jack, look.
What are you doing, Brassett?
Laying cloth for tea, sir.
Go away!
But you gave orders, sir.
Put it back half an hour, quick, man. Can't you see I'm engaged?
Really, sir? Congratulations, sir.
No, not like that. Busy, confound you. Now, get out and don't come back. Alas, my dear Kitty.
Yes, Jack, you've said that before.
Now, don't interrupt me, Kitty. I go straight at most things, and I won't hesitate over this.
Is it that you attach so much importance to it, or that you don't care what you do?
It's both. Mixed. So, Kitty, my dear Kitty.
Yes, Jack?
Kitty, do be serious. In a few hours, you'll be hundreds of miles away, and it may be years before we see each other again. Unless...
Unless what?
Will you please listen?
I can't help myself.
I've told you how my father intended me for Parliament and all that.
Yes.
Well, now he tells me that I'll have to give up all that and make my own living.
Oh, well, that will do you no harm, Jack.
No, that's how I look at it. I've done well up here. Work tells wherever you work. I work hard and work tells wherever you are. So I intend to turn towards work. And I'm sure it'll come out all right. One way or another.
I'm sure. I wish you every success.
Of course, in time I will be all right, but the question is, will you wait?
Wait? What for?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean that.
Oh, you didn't mean it.
No. What I am really trying to say is that I'm just trying to get you to understand what I've been telling you.
And what was that?
Well, to be frank and lay everything fairly before you, my position in life will be something in,
The city?
my home,
Suburban?
Exactly. My personal income,
Small?
my extra income,
Precarious?
but under certain circumstances, my fears will be nil and my hopes tremendous. Now you know all. That's how I stand.
Oh, that's how you stand.
Oh! Oh, Kitty!
Well, I hope those happy conditions will be realized to your heart's content.
Kitty, my dear Kitty, they'll never be realized without you.
Without me?
Now you're vexed with me. You hate the city. You despise the suburbs.
Now, why would you say that, Jack? As if I hadn't the heart to do what thousands of better girls have done. As if I couldn't guess all the happy fun that is to be gotten out of cooking and ministering to the wants and happiness of the man who will work and strive for the woman he loves.
What? You mean...
Try me, Jack, for I love you dearly.
You love me?
As much as you love me.
Oh, Kitty, you are such a brick! Mwah.
But what about my guardian, Mr. Spettigue?
Ah! I will see him at once.
Oh, no, that won't do.
Won't do? Why ever not?
We must have his consent in writing.
In writing, but why?
So he can't retract. You don't know him as well as I do. And there's only one person who can get that written consent for us. Now be a good boy and send it to me at once.
Who? Amy!
No! Charley's aunt, Donna Lucia.
Donna Lucia? But Kitty,
Oh, please don't ask questions. You must send it to me at once while I find Amy. Oh, good heavens! Where
Where are we now? This can't go on.
Done it, Jack. I've done it.
Done it? Done what?
I've let the cat out of the bag and told her everything.
What? You idiot! What did you tell her?
That I love her.
Love her? Love who?
Why, Amy, of course.
Oh! Is that all?
Yes. But, Jack, I fear we may be in a dickens of a mess. Amy's gone off to find Donna Lucia to get her uncle's consent.
Well, be cool, man. Be cool. Well, all right. We're doing all right. Up till now.
How and when shall I earliest meet her? What are the words that she will first say to me?
Right on the table. Ah. You'll drag us into a deuce of a mess.
And a damn good one, too. You have no idea the things he keeps saying to me.
He? Who?
Old Spetague!
Well, what does he say?
Yes. What does he say?
You're too young.
What?
Yes.
He did it.
Oh, he did. And
Good gracious.
and then he...
No. Oh.
Yes! Terribly embarrassing for a woman of the world. Or a man of the world. And you know how well I get along with the girls.
Yes. Too well. Confound you.
Oh, I do, don't I?
Oh.
Jack, we must end this. This can't go on.
But don't you start. Some lies have just got to be lived through.
What for?
What for's to save confessing them, you duffer?
But Jack, can't you end this horrible charade?
Yes, can you? I need a drink.
You see that we'd get along all right if that donkey would only behave like a lady.
He can't. He doesn't know how.
Ha! The selfish idiot's going to spoil everything.
I wish we'd asked Freddie Peel.
Yes! Freddie Peel would have stood by us like a man.
Giving us all kinds of problems, hasn't he?
Selfish little beast.
I'd like to bash his head in.
Hell yes, and I'd like to squash his head in. Did you ever see those watermelons that they do at the fair? Oh, it's quite the...
Good Lord, what's he doing now?
Babs! Oh, no, Babs, you're not leaving. Babs! Babs, get back here! Babs! You don't. Babs! No, Babs. No, you can't. Yes, I will. Yes, sir. You don't know what he's saying. You know what he's doing to me. I don't know what he wants to do to me. Stay still. What? We need to
Mr. Chesney, have you seen Donna Lucia?
In the garden?
Oh, God.
Look! I won't stand for this another second. Let Charley have a go at it.
Oh.
The dress.
What
goes
did you
on?
do with this dress?
Oh, no. That's the way you dress.
Put that on him first.
Since when have you known how to put on a dress? What, pray tell, is this?
Like, you wrap
Oh,
around my
all right.
head.
Thank you. Please, just make me look dignified. Give me some sort of dignity.
Trying.
Step in.
Quite a task.
I like how you're trying to beat like how you're going to get me into this mess, but you won't help me get out.
Can't you put your arms in the armholes?
And to think, just when we want old Spetsky in his best humor, you try to ruin it by this fool of a game.
What fool of a game? I'm not marrying old Spetsky. I could never be happy with a man like that.
You know, Babs, if it was your girls, we would do anything for you.
Mm-hmm.
Where's my Auntie McClosa?
Oh, and to think, all you think about is running off with our girl. Confound you.
Charlie, how do I looking back?
Do like this. Oh, look out! Here are the girls!
Oh, John Lucia! There you are. Amy and I want so much to speak with you.
We're in a difficulty.
A difficulty?
Yes, and we want you to be an angel. Oh, now Jack, do go away.
Yes, Charlie, go away.
Yes, do go away. They want me to be an angel.
You know Amy's uncle, Mr. Spettigue, is my guardian, and that means, under my father's will, he gets nearly all my money if I marry without his consent.
And Jack and Kitty are in love with each other, but Jack's lost all his money,
for years and years.
Kitty
Oh,
wants you to.
wait a moment, Amy dear.
Yes, wait a moment, Amy dear. It's her turn. Now it's your turn.
So, Amy and Charlie are also in love with each other. You don't object, do you?
Oh, no, I do not.
Oh, you old dear.
You dear thing.
Oh, now Jack, do go away.
Yes, go away, Charlie.
Yes, do go away. We three ladies want to be alone.
Can't stand for this any longer, Jack.
Well, don't! Go watch the tea! Go on! Yes, we must get them all together and stop this.
Now, where were we?
Oh yes, you ladies were in love and were wanting to get married.
Exactly.
And we want Uncle's consent.
And we want you to be an angel and do it.
Do it. Do what?
Why, get Mrs. Spettige's consent.
For the both of us.
For the both of you.
Yes. See, first you'll give your consent to Charlie and Amy. You will, won't you?
Oh, yes, I suppose.
Oh, you're so kind, but I knew that from the first.
Would you like me to be one of your bridesmaids? All right, maybe some other time.
Now, so you will get his consent for us, but mine being a legal affair.
Yes, your father's will, of course.
Yes, his consent must be in writing.
In writing.
Yes, you must get him to write a letter or something.
Oh, well, you see, my dears, I have no influence over him.
Oh, but you're so clever and so kind.
And so rich.
Oh, rich, yes. I remember I gave away only a nickel this morning.
At any rate, you must try.
Oh, Donna Lucia, do say you will try.
We're going away, you see.
Oh, my dears, don't leave me.
To Scotland.
Oh, Scotland. Oh, beautiful country where the whiskey comes from.
You're our only hope.
Oh, Donna Lucia, have you ever been in love?
Oh, yes, dozens of times.
Dozens?
I mean, once in love, always in love, you know?
Oh, well then you must know what it means to us.
I should rather think I did.
So you'll get Mrs. Spettige's consent for us?
Well, I'll do my best.
Oh, you can't say no now.
No, not now.
Then we will go and fetch Spettige and send them to you at once. Oh my.
Hey, the safety pins
Oh,
on this thing.
oh, Amy, can you take a look at this?
Okay.
Yes. Come on. All right, let's go.
Consent.
Oh my. Oh my.
Well, this here's a deuce of a mess. Oh, Brassett, could you give me a soda and a brandy? Oh, never mind. There's old Spettige coming.
Oh, my dear Donna Lucia, I have been looking for you all afternoon. I have so much to say to you.
Mr. Spettigue, will you introduce me?
Oh, how annoying. Why couldn't she have just stayed away? Oh, of course. Donna Lucia, Mrs. Buttercup Smythe, Donna Lucia de Alvadores.
How do you do? I'm Charley's aunt from Brazil, where the nuts come from.
Oh, well, how do you do? I am most interested in meeting you.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. You see, I knew your late husband intimately.
What was the matter?
She knew my late husband intimately.
How's everything going? Everything all right?
No, she knew my late husband intimately.
The deuce?
Ew.
Ooh, look out, here's tea.
Well, what of it?
You have to entertain.
Now, Donna Lucia, will you pour the tea?
Oh, certainly.
Oh, what a cruel interruption. We were getting along so nicely.
Will everybody take tea?
Oh, you haven't been away from England long, have you?
Change the subject.
Change the subject.
No.
No.
You take cream and sugar.
Do you take cream and sugar?
Ask her if she takes cream and sugar.
Ask her to take cream and sugar.
I suppose I should take a little cream and sugar, Donna Lucia. My hat! My hat!
Beg your pardon.
Oh. I must see her alone. I've got it. I shall invite them to dinner. After dinner, that's the time for my purpose. Pardon me, but I have a little proposition to make.
Here.
And I can't take no.
Mrs. Pettigrew's carriage?
Ah, capital, the very thing. Now, I want you, all of you, to come and stay and dine at my house.
What a grand idea!
Now, you will return with me in the carriage, Donna Lucia?
Oh, I can't. It's impossible.
I shall take no objection. I want you, all of you, to come.
Well, I have my niece with me, Miss Delahaye.
Miss Delahaye?
Oh, splendid. Bring her along.
I can't. I can't. My things. My things.
The voice! Can it be? It is! It is!
Oh no.
Dinner is pretty much over now, and they'll all be back here pretty soon. Fancy old Spedicky getting me to come here tonight and butler for him. I suppose he's too mean to have his own butler, though. I must say, is simply marvelous, the way his lordship has kept it up. He plays the perfect lady. Something wonderful. Hello? What's up now? Anyhow, if worst comes to worst, I've got his lordship's dress clothes.
Press it! Give me a fly quick, I'm going home.
You were getting along all right. You only paid more attention to old Spectacle.
Think of the girls and the solemn promise you made to help them.
Yes.
Oh, spare me! Don't spare me! You can't say I'm an alcoholic, and if I am, it's for the want of it.
Well, now look here, Babs. This game won't do.
What game?
What?
The girls. You promised them, remember?
Yes, I did. But she wasn't here.
She? Who?
My little girl.
What little girl?
Miss Delahaye.
What, the girl with Mrs. What's-her-name Smythe?
Yes, Miss Butterscotch Smythe's niece.
Well, what of her?
She's the girl I met at Monte Carlo, and this Butterscotch woman is the woman who took her away. And I'm off.
Stop him, Charlie, quick! Relics! Oh, you got us into this deuce of a mess.
Well, of all the ungodly, ungrateful things to say.
Well, what difference can it make to you now?
I want to talk to her.
Talk to her? What about?
I want to tell her what you gents have been telling your girls all along. Hang it! Don't you understand? I'm just as much in love as you are. Oh, damn here.
Was there ever such an idiot?
No, there wasn't. Look at me. I'm a disgrace to my own sex.
If worse comes to worse, we'll grab the bull by the horns and be done with him.
You can grab the bull by the tail, for all I care. And once more, you can tell those girls to stop kissing me in front of her. I won't have it!
Don't shout, you idiot! We'll make some excuse. We'll say she's sick, put him in a fly, and be done with him.
Oh, and Charley, you can give Miss Verdun some excuse for me.
Miss Verdun? What have you got to say about Miss Verdun? Out with it, Matt.
Haven't I promised her Mr. Spectacle's consent? In writing? Idiots! You're as helpless as a couple of babies!
This way, madame.
Go
Here, quick, sit down.
How is your aunt now, Mr. Wiccan? We were afraid she might be ill.
Yes, is there anything the matter?
Oh, well, Auntie's just a little affected by the heat in the dining room, that's all.
The heat? Well, I found it rather cold.
Yes, Charlie means cold. You see, Donna Lucia's lived so long in a warm climate.
Won't you try Auntie's smelling salts? They're very good.
Oh, well, thank you. Yes, Charlie's aunt is usually like this, isn't she, Charlie?
Oh, I do hope Donna Lucia is all right.
Yes, how is she? Mr. Chesney says she's fine now. Oh, well then go tell Mr. Spectacle. He's most anxious.
Yes, we'll take care of her now.
I say, chaps, don't leave me like this. It's a foozle mess. I wonder what they'll say. I'd better be careful.
I wonder who she really is, Auntie.
Oh, it's probably just some old thing that they got after they received my telegram.
Say something to her, Auntie. I like to hear her talk.
Oh, I would, my dear. You. Thank you, Brassett. I would, my dear, but look at her. If I thought they really intended that to be like me, I'd never forgive them.
Hark, the silly fools.
You know, I say, Donna Lucia, what's the story?
This is just what I expected.
That Don Pedro was so very fond of telling.
I must put a stop to this. Won't one of the young ladies sing something?
How rude of her to interrupt like that.
She couldn't have heard you, Auntie. Well, won't you tell the story, Miss Beverly Smythe?
Well, perhaps Donna Lucia would prefer to tell Don Pedro's story herself.
Tom, Pedro?
Dom Pedro, your late husband, you know, Don Pedro de Alvadores.
Ah, yes, Don Pedro. Yes, I know his name. But I don't remember his stories. I don't hold with such frivolity.
Auntie, don't tease her so. Tell the story yourself.
Well, Don Pedro, who was the kindest soul in all the world. Oh, but will Donna Lucia give me permission?
Oh, you won't mind Mrs. Beverly Smythe telling the story, will you? Oh, surely not.
Well, if I must.
Well, as I said before, Don Pedro, who was one of the kindest souls in all the world, once found one of his cellarmen tipsy.
That's
very tipsy. So Don Pedro, whom the man did not recognize, was going to talk to him, and he said...
What did he say?
Well, he wasn't drinking. Don Pedro was not tipsy. He is most abstemious. That's what makes the point of the story.
Oh, is it?
Yes. Well, so Don Pedro said to the man, "What would Don Pedro say if he saw you like this?"
Tipsy? Like this?
Yes, yes.
No, the man said, now this is what makes the story so funny.
Oh, is this where we laugh?
Oh, no.
The man said, "Oh, that's all right. Don Pedro's often like this."
Well, of all the damn silly stories. What was the man's name again?
I don't know the man's name.
That's a pity.
Oh, but I thought you'd certainly remember the story.
Oh.
It was a favorite of Don Pedro's.
Oh, yes, I remember I shrieked when I heard it. I shrieked when I heard it first. That reminds me of a funny story. Will one of the girls play something?
Oh,
Please?
No, I'm terribly out of practice. Why don't you sing something, Amy?
No, I can't. I don't know anything new.
Sing that one song, you know, Ta-ra-ra boom-die.
I'm afraid I can't, Donna Lucia.
Oh, but won't you sing something for us, Donna Lucia?
Oh, no, I haven't sung anything.
Oh, you know, just one of those cute little Brazilian songs that I've heard Don Pedro was so fond of.
I haven't sung anything since I had the measles.
What?
Over 40 years ago?
Oh, 40 years! Oh, what libel! I was but a mere infant.
But I shall play something. That's an idea. I shan't have to talk. I can drown out their conversation.
I do hope that you have quite recovered from the shock my niece gave you today.
Oh, yes, I was quite upset, wasn't I? I've always suffered from giddiness. Were you ever giddy?
Oh, no, never.
I was. Well, what would you girls like me to play? Beethoven or Bluebells of Scotland? How's that?
Come on, you friends, come along.
Don't forget the letter.
I won't forget.
Let's go all out into the garden and leave her alone with Spetterview.
Oh, charming, charming.
Bring the cigars, Brassett! Unless the ladies object.
Oh no, smoking, I like it. It keeps away the insects and things.
Look at him, Jack.
What's he doing now?
Staring at her like he did all through dinner.
You damn fool!
I must make an opportunity to see her alone. I say, it's such a lovely evening. Perhaps some of you would prefer to enjoy a cigar in the garden.
No, thank you, sir.
Yes, such a lovely evening.
I trust you enjoyed yourself in the evening. I heard the music.
Oh, yes. Donna Lucia has been playing for us.
Oh, how lovely of you, Donna Lucia. Oh, where would we have been without your dear Aunt Charley?
Yes.
Don't groan like that, you idiot. Are you fond of music, Mr. Spettigue?
Oh, I hope to be.
Why, do you intend to take lessons? Why does he keep looking at me like that, like a boiled owl?
Oh, Dad! I'm so glad you know about Kitty now. She is quite the splendid girl, isn't she?
Oh, I like her very much, I must say, Jack.
You've taken a load off my mind, Dad. I thought I was quite without means.
Well, not altogether, but you thought this matter through?
Night and day, Dad. Ever since I first met her.
It's a serious step, you know, a serious step.
Now, don't forget, in writing. Don't forget. Let's get them out into the garden to take Charlie.
Oh! I'm glad I've told the Dad now.
But won't you listen to reason?
I'll listen to reason, but where is the letter you promised me?
The letter? Oh, yes. I've not written it yet.
Not yet.
We must make an opportunity to speak it over. Alone.
That would be nice.
But Charlie, why are you so miserable today? We ought to be so very, very happy.
Oh, great joy sometimes brings a sort of reaction in me. I'll be all right. Tomorrow, I'll most definitely be much better.
Oh, do come out into the garden.
So I've told my Dad, and he's delighted. But you won't regret it, will you, Kitty? Turning your back on society and the row and
everyone else's Monday and my own rest of the week? No, Jack. The vista is too heavenly. Now, do come out into the garden.
Oh, it's such a lovely evening. Perhaps you'd like a cigar, Jack?
No, thank you, sir.
Yes, a lovely evening.
Shall we join them?
Oh, yes. You know, it would be a charity to leave those two alone.
Indeed, why?
Oh, it's just a little matchmaking mischief, that's all.
On Spetigue's part?
Oh, no, on Donna Lucia's.
They've gone. Lucia! Lucia? They've gone? Aha, there you are. Oh, Lucia, I've waited so long for this moment. I have so much to say to you.
Oh, no, he's at it again.
I must speak to you, Lucia.
No, I'm very angry with you.
Lucia, don't say that. You'll wound me.
But I do say it after the promise you made me and the way you treat me.
Promise?
The promise you made. The consent in writing.
Oh, that, Lucia, how can we when we have so much more to say that more concerns ourselves?
I'm afraid not. You see, I'm no ordinary woman.
Lucia, will you not hear me?
I'll hear you, but where is the letter?
Will you not listen to me, Lucia?
I'll listen to you. Where is the letter?
Do I deserve this, Lucia?
He deserves 6 months, the old idiot.
You are a puzzle, an enigma.
How dare you! Until I get the letter, it's over between us.
Lucia, that decides me. I shall go to my room this minute and pen a brief note.
A letter? In writing?
Then say you will be mine.
I'll say anything you like. Only don't be long.
Darling.
Whew. Well, this is a fine position. What devils we women are. Feel bad for those fellows. I should be an old woman the rest of my life. Oh, I haven't had a smoke or a drink all day. Ha ha! By George, there's a find. I wonder how long he'll be. Ugh, I'll be hanged if I don't chance it. Beautiful, beautiful.
She's smoking! Oh,
Auntie, did you find it chilly?
I did, my dear. I thought I would grab a wrap of some kind.
I'll go upstairs and get you something. I know where your things are.
Thank you, dear. Are you alone?
Yes, alone, and so sad.
Oh, dear me, what a dreadful smell of cigar smoke.
Yes, I noticed. I'll go find out who it is.
Oh, no, don't go. I wanted to talk to you.
Oh, really?
Yes, about your late husband, Don Pedro.
Yes?
Well, Don Pedro, when I met Don Pedro, he told me that he had no wife.
Oh, yes, but he was such a cruel husband.
The Don Pedro I knew was noble and kind and gentle.
That was his father, the man with the white mustache.
Such effrontery. You know, Donna Lucia, I am surprised that you don't engage in the habit of smoking. So many Brazilian ladies do, you know.
Well, to be honest, that's what I was doing when you walked in.
Well then, pray, don't let me interrupt you.
Oh, no, would you like a drink of any kind?
Oh, no, thank you. I prefer not to smoke either, because not being a Brazilian lady, it might be thought strange. But, pardon my curiosity, do you have any children?
Only a few. Not to speak of.
Here's your wrap, Auntie.
Oh, thank you, my dear. I'm going to go into the garden. I fancy that Sir Francis has something he wishes to say to me. Oh, but as it's rather chilly, perhaps you had better stay in.
Oh, don't go, please.
Oh, I was just going into the garden.
It has turned quite chilly. Auntie sent me in from the garden because of that.
Can I get you a wrap of any kind?
No, I'm all right, thank you. Auntie thinks I'm much better here. I've been ill, you know.
Oh, have you, my dear?
Yes, I'm all right now, of course, if I take care.
Yes, you must take great care.
Auntie, I fancy, is more particular than usual this evening. Or she and Sir Francis? They were sweethearts.
Were they?
Yes. But he went away without telling her that he was ever and ever so fond of her. Auntie says he was shy. So he went away without knowing that she was ever and ever so fond of him. But the noblest man I ever knew was also shy and oh so kind. He got to know how Papa had become so ill and so poor and lost a large sum of money to him at a game of cards. Auntie thinks on purpose. I often wondered why they played cards with Papa being so ill. But when I asked the doctor if it was doing any harm, he said, not the game that was being played. So now I've got all the money, and if ever we meet, I mean to give it back.
Oh no. No. You mustn't do that. It would be like accusing him of a sort of cheating, you know?
But it was ever such a loss. Enough, Auntie says, to make me independent for life.
And do you think he'd take it back if you saw him again?
But I feel it my duty.
Well, it's too late now.
But he went away before I had time to tell him how much I I loved him for his kindness to my poor father. You don't mind my telling you this, do you? I don't know why, but I do like to talk to you. I do like you, and I do so long to see him again.
Lucia!
Do you have the letter?
Yes, here's the letter. But first, make my happiness complete. Say that from this blissful moment, we are engaged.
We are engaged. Yes. By all means, we are engaged.
Oh, darling.
Mr. Spectacle?
Call me Stephen.
Stephen? Is this a letter?
Yes, that is the letter. Are we betrothed?
Oh, yes, yes. We are betrothed, darling.
Oh. Mrs. Buttercup Smythe, Sir Francis, congratulate me. I am the happiest man in the world. But where are the dear children? This must be a day of happiness and rejoicing for us all.
What did he mean by that?
Oh, can't you guess?
No.
Oh, didn't I tell you what would happen if we left those two alone? Don't you understand? She has accepted him.
Accepted him?
Yes, Donna Lucia de Alvadores.
You don't mean...
Yes.
Oh, what a fool I was.
Oh, well, you're not sorry.
No, it's just that rascal boy of mine made this stupid suggestion that I should...
Oh, that you should give your heart and your hand to Donna Lucia de Alvadores from Brazil, where the nuts come from?
Well, what a fool I was, or might have been, or should have been, I don't know.
Well, then you don't envy him.
Envy him?
But think of her millions.
Oh, but Lucy, when I saw your face...
Oh, you didn't recognize it.
Well, no, but when I did, I told you all that in the garden. And you're sure you'll be content with a simple cottage and an old sweetheart?
And would you take me as a penniless widow?
Nothing would make me happier.
Oh, Frank.
Oh, Lucy. What are you smiling about?
Oh, I was just thinking.
Of what?
Of Donna Lucia de Alvadores.
Oh, she does make a quaint little figure.
Well,
Auntie, didn't you find the air chilly this evening?
I didn't even notice, my love.
How pretty you look tonight. Has Sir Francis?
Oh,
Come along, dear children, come along. Now, Kitty, you sit there, and Amy, here. Now, I have something to tell you all. Something I'm sure you will all be very excited to hear. Oh, but where is Donna Lucia?
Donna Lucia's gone to her rooms, I fancy.
Well, maybe it's all for the best. Now, before she returns, I have a little secret to tell you.
Oh, really? Do tell.
I'm sure you will pardon me if I ask for your attention for a few moments.
What's he going to say?
How do I know until he said it?
Now, situated as I am, a mateless uncle, a lonely widower, surrounded with grave responsibilities, my ward, my niece, I am delighted to say that a good fairy has tripped in among us and brought with her unexpected light and joy.
Shut up.
Under her influence, I have consented to the union of my niece, Amy, with a gentleman in whose honor and probity I have the fullest confidence, Sir Mr. Charles Wickham.
Oh, Charlie, how sweet of your dear aunt.
Furthermore, charmed by her irresistible spells, I have consented to the engagement of my ward Kitty with John, only son of my good friend Sir Francis Chesney. Ah, Sir Chesney, but what would you say to a third engagement?
A third?
Our good fairy, nay, let me say, without further metaphor, one whose name is as honored in the southwestern hemisphere as that of Rothschild is in Europe, and one who has consented to become Mrs. Stephen Spettigue. I of course allude to our dear friend Donna Lucia de Alvadores. What was that?
Beg your pardon, sir. The tray, sir.
Be more careful, Brasset.
Uncle,
Be more careful, Brasset. Nothing could please me more than to announce my engagement to Mrs. Donna.
Sir, I cannot take this ghastly farrago any longer.
Mr. Wickham, whatever do you mean?
Sir, I don't care what the outcome may be.
I
cannot take this-
suppose in alluding to espousing my niece.
I cannot espouse her under these false and lying pretenses, sir.
What do you mean? Explain yourself, sir.
That woman.
Do you allude in such a manner to your aunt?
I say that woman.
I must ask you to speak with more respect of your aunt.
She is not my aunt.
Not your aunt? Whatever do you mean?
This morning, we sent a telegram.
Sir, Mr. Spettigue, if you allow me to explain that the blame is
I
entirely
will not, sir. I am addressing this person. Now go on, explain yourself.
I must tell his lordship of this.
This morning, we sent a telegram to my aunt to ask for her to come so we could speak with Miss Verdun and Miss Spettigue, but she telegraphed us back and said that she couldn't come. So the girls arrived and, well, we...
I, sir, prevailed upon a murder person to...
Well, what?
To impersonate her.
Impersonator? Am I to understand that I have been treacherously, infamously deceived?
That was not our intention, sir.
Don't lie to me, sir.
You forget yourself, sir. You weren't expected.
A front like that, with a wig.
Oh, you can't blame her for that.
May I come in?
Turn that woman out of my house.
I say, may I come in?
I said turn that woman out of... And who are you, sir?
I'm Charley's aunt from Brazil. Where the nuts come from.
Bancourt Babberley, you duffer!
Bancourt Babberley. I beg your pardon, sir.
Auntie, and I told them everything.
What does this mean, sir?
It means, sir, that we've all done very wrong and are deeply sorry, and offer you our tenderest apologies. My apologies for if I hadn't offered the temptation, this all never would have occurred.
And let me, sir, express that we have no words to express our contrition.
This is infamous! It's infamous! But where is the document obtained from me under these fraudulent pretenses?
Oh, the letter. The letter. I had it at one point.
Give it to me, sir.
Unfortunately, I do not have it, but...
Sir, I demand it.
Well, here's the thing. When you're wearing a dress, it's not...
I would
exactly-
not know, sir.
Oh, I found it right here on the floor.
Oh, right there, yeah. Oh, well. There's a letter.
I will dispute
Allow
it.
me.
I shall dispute it. Under her father's will, I shall dispute this.
No, this letter is addressed and has been delivered to Donna Lucia de Alvadores.
But she is not... But he is not Donna Lucia de Alvadores.
No, but I am.
You?
Lucy? My aunt? You will forgive me if I retire for the evening. And as for you, sir, I shall be inquiring of the authorities at your college first thing in the morning.
Charley. He can't have me up for a breach of promise, can he?
Charley! Charley! How dare you! I'll never forgive you. I'll never forgive any of you for treating Uncle Stephen like that.
Oh, please be patient with us, my dear. I shall make sure that your uncle shall receive the most profound reparation that my influence can make. And as for my own part, Well, I only shared in the deception when I discovered that there was another lady established in my place.
No wonder she knew about my late husband.
Well, I'm as sorry as anyone, but I trust Jack with my life.
Indeed. Well, then he shall have to wait until I'm his mother.
My mother?
Yes, Donna Lucia, in deceiving me as much as anyone, has done me the great honor of recollecting an old affection and has promised to agree to that authority. We are to be married. Watch out, Jack.
Lord Fancourt Baverley, I am afraid that you have gained one confidence that nothing could excuse.
I know, and I reproach myself beyond expression. But I wouldn't part with that confidence to save my life. And if Miss Delahaye is willing to accept it, I'm willing to atone for it with lifelong devotion.
Auntie! Now, where is my son?
Here, Mama.
You know, I shall have to talk to you very seriously before I give you this. And Charley, I shall never forgive you if you ever deceive that sweet young girl again. And as for you...
No. I've given it up. You can keep the dress as well. Miss Delahaye here has consented to think me over as her husband. And so, in the future, I resign all claims to Sir Francis Chesney of Charley's aunt.